harder to get attention. And so, selling high ticket is just easier. Like, think about if you can sell one $25,000 program. If you have $1,000 program, you just sell 25 of them. And usually lower ticket clients are harder to please. Like, they're more work, they expect more, they're kind of a pain.
That's true, because it's all relative to how much money they have, right? So if they're spending $100, but they only have $200, that's half their money.
Exactly. And they want you to give them everything.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're going to talk real estate and high ticket sales today. We got Krista Mashore here today. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me, Sean. I'm excited.
Love your energy.
Yeah. Oh, I love your logos and all your stuff. It's so cute. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Just like you.
And you were on nonstop calls when I walked in, so you're up to something big right now, huh?
No, just, it's just life, work. I like it. It's fun.
Yeah. You're doing a program right now, coaching?
Yeah. I teach entrepreneurs, coaches, and consultants how to sell high ticket sales. And that's one business that I teach real estate agents and lenders how to dominate their markets.
Okay. What's considered high ticket? What price range for you?
Well, my high ticket offers are $25K. I've done as much as $200,000. That's not as common. That's on a partnership, but typically it's around $25,000 to $50,000.
Okay. That's really high. When I think of high ticket, I think of $5K.
Yeah, that's what most people do. And most people are taught to start with low value, $10 and then $1,000, and I say just start with high ticket because it's really expensive to acquire a customer nowadays, and it's getting harder and harder to get attention. And so, selling high ticket is just easier. Like, think about if you can sell one $25,000 program. If you have $1,000 program, you just sell 25 of them. And usually lower ticket clients are harder to please. Like, they're more work, they expect more, they're kind of a pain.
That's true, because it's all relative to how much money they have, right? So if they're spending $100, but they only have $200, that's half their money.
Exactly. And they want you to give them everything.
Yeah, I've noticed that too. And people that spend a lot, I've never had a refund.
That's good.
Because I charge $7,500 and no one's ever asked for a refund. But if I charge less, it'd probably be more common.
Yeah, exactly. And I want to learn more about that when I interview you.
Absolutely. So when you're charging these prices, you said 25 to 200. What's the typical offer or product? Is it like a coaching thing?
Yeah, it's a coaching program, and so we teach people how to do the same exact thing. So, and their prices have ranged anywhere from a $4,000 offer to all the way up to $50,000 and more. We just had a kid in Spain do his first launch. He was 23 years old, and he did $800,000 on his first launch selling a $4,000 product.
Wow.
Yeah. And Spain is totally different because, the cost of it's the dollar is worth less there. So just $4,000 there is $12,000 here.
Wow.
And he's 23,
Yeah, that's crazy. So are you seeing potential in other markets outside the U.S.?
Yes. I mean, we're now starting to market outside the U.S. because the cost per lead is less. And there's a lot of money in other areas as well.
Right. Yeah, people only focus on the U.S., but I think it's a big world out there.
Yeah, it's a big world out there.
UK, maybe Canada, Australia could be decent.
Yeah, Dubai, different areas in Europe. I mean, there's, different areas in, Spanish speaking, that also speak English are great areas to go after as well.
Right. Now, before this, you were dominating real estate, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Ranked number 88 out of 90,000 agents for EXP.
Yeah, something like that.
That is crazy. I mean, to get to that level, you must have been one of the only girls, right? It's probably all dudes.
No. In fact, women do better in real estate. So,
really?
Yeah, women do better. Yeah, actually, there's it's about 60%, 40% women in real estate.
Oh, wow.
I think it's because it's about the home, and their women at times can be a little bit more no offense, men. We can be this a little bit more calmer, maybe, or a little bit more compassionate, and selling is it's very dear to people's hearts. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I'm still number 88 out of 90,000 agents. Yeah. That's my third type of thing that I do.
Amazing. Yeah. Because home buying is pretty emotional. So I think the women are probably better at relating, right?
Yeah. Maybe a little bit more patient.
Yeah. So do you still do that a lot, or do you focus on the high?
I'm a EXP agent. So I have a downline. So about over 870 agents that are underneath me from across the country. So we take them as a part of our EXP organization. We teach them how to utilize social media, video, digital marketing to do real estate in a different way. So that's part of what I do. But my main business is teaching real estate agents and lenders, as well as, how to sell in a different way. And then also coaching experts and consultants how to sell high ticket offers. That's my main passion right now. I love doing it.
Got it. Will that recent NAR settlement affect that a lot?
Oh, that's a great question. I'm so glad that we even know that, because a lot of people don't. So that's just a little bump in the road. It's just a matter of, a lot of coaches out there are saying right now to real estate agents, oh, you need to start getting your buyer, representation agreement done. You need to be able to say how you can, help buyers and show your value add. And I'm like, they're saying that because they've never never sold a house before, we're actually doing a program right now called List to Last, like how to be a top producing listing agent. So I'm telling people what they should be doing, which is the truth, is listing homes, because with listings come buyers, and as a listing agent, you get paid no matter what. Buyers agents are still going to get paid. In fact, 97% of agency is dual agency, meaning there's a seller represented and a buyer representation. It's just a matter of how you convey it to the seller. Somebody's going to have to pay the commission. In most cases, the buyer's not going to be able to. So if the seller isn't willing to pay it, most likely the home will stay on the market longer. The price will go down. Like, there's so many variables. The real estate industry is about 20% of the world global economy is real estate.
Wow.
So yeah, and like 33% of buyers last year were first-time home buyers, which don't have the money to pay for huge commissions, as well as over 430,000 last year were like people that serve our country, and those people are getting FHA loans, or I'm sorry, VA loans. And with the VA loan, you can't have the buyer pay. They can't pay. So it would eliminate them as well. So it's just like a little hiccup. It's not going to change much.
That's cool. People are freaking out about it.
They are, because they don't know. It's like one more thing to like freak out about. You know what I'm saying?
But that's business, right? There's
That's
always
business.
going to be those.
Yeah, negativity sells.
Yeah, there's always going to be unpredictable things, but if you build your fortress strong enough, it won't even affect you that much.
Absolutely. And there's tons of people leaving, so there's a lot of potential for people that stick to it.
That's cool. Now, you got the nickname Foreclosure Queen.
Yes.
What happened there?
So that was when the market crashed, back in 2008, and I sold foreclosures for, around 5 or 6 years. That's all I sold was foreclosures. And then the market got better, and I rebranded myself and just, started doing video content and social media to become not the foreclosure queen, but to become the digital marketing queen. Yeah.
I love it. So you're good at seizing the moment almost.
I think you have to be as a person, like in almost anything, right? Like, it isn't just in business, but I think you need to really, be on top of what's happening and really try to foresee things, whether it's in your marriage or parenting or business. It's important to kind of adapt and modify as things change.
Yeah, because a lot of people got wrecked in '08, but you were able to make it out.
My best year, I sold 169 houses as a solo agent, and that was during the foreclosure time frame. Yeah,
that's impressive.
Yeah, it was like, I'd rather probably be a stripper in Vegas than have to do that again. It was very hard.
Yeah, they make a lot out here, I heard. Can't speak on that.
They probably make as much as most agents.
Yeah. So you also left your home at 13?
Yeah, I have not lived at home since I was 13.
Wow, that is very young.
Yeah, I was very young.
So you had to grow up quick.
I had to grow up quick, yeah. Wasn't intended. I mean, I always tell people I kind of lived in two families. So I have a very loving family with a loving mom and a loving dad. And then my mom was also very abusive. And so physically abusive. So when I turned 13, I just started running away from home. And then I ended up in juvenile hall. After running away for like a year, I'd get caught and go back on the streets, get caught, go back on the streets. So finally, I broke the law, got sent to juvenile hall. And then I got sent to a group home for troubled girls. It was called a group home, Hidden Hills Group Home for Girls. Nothing hidden about it. We got dropped off in a huge green bus every day labeled like they're screw ups. So we were kind of chastised and made fun of. And then from there, I went to a foster home.
Wow.
Yeah.
So did you have a lot of like identity issues growing up?
Oh gosh, I mean, it's crazy that you say that, but yeah, I mean, very insecure. I didn't ever feel like I was good enough, and I still, work on that all the time. Like work on feeling like I'm good enough and and it's funny because I'm realizing, I'm in a lot of these really these masterminds with very successful people,
right.
And it's amazing how many of them still have self-worth issues, So I think I've really overcome it, a lot based upon all the mindset tricks that I use, but yeah, I mean, I've had to really work on my mindset and feeling of value and all that.
What a transformation, because people are probably doubting you too the whole time.
Oh yeah, I mean, like people the average foster kid, like less than 1% of foster kids go to college. Most end up on drugs or on the streets because, like when I was 18 from the foster home, they just said you got to go, So they just basically kicked me out, and I had to kind of like figure it out.
Right, because they stopped getting paid when you're 18, right?
Yep, they stopped getting paid. Yeah.
Wow, so they really saw you as just like a number.
No, I wouldn't say that. Like they were really good to me. They really were good to me. But I mean, when it comes, when it's all said and done, I mean, it's money, right? And having somebody there, so. I just luckily I had great friends, and I had some of my friends' parents let me stay for the summer while I kind of worked, and then I got student loans and I worked full time, and went to school at night, worked during the day, and just made it work.
Wow! And what was that first big financial breakthrough? How old were you?
I will tell you that when I went to school to be a teacher, and I after 6 years of teaching, I made $50,000. $60,000 a year. So taught for 6 years, made 60 grand. Not a lot of money at all, right? I guess my first breakthrough was marrying my first husband because he had money. And that was probably the biggest breakthrough, which sounds terrible. But he really helped me, while we were married. He was the financial guy.
Okay.
And then we had been married for a couple of years. And one day I got the phone call that he was having an affair. So,
Wow.
yeah. So I left my teaching job to be a stay-at-home mom, found out really quickly he was having an affair, and went into real estate so I could take care of my kids. And I sold... I think I did 69 homes my first year, and I made just under, I think, $760,000 in commission my first year in real estate.
Wow.
In commission, yeah.
What a change from being a teacher.
Yeah, it was like seven times what I made as a teacher for a whole year in 1 year.
That's crazy. Were you good at selling right away, real estate?
I was good with people, and I just was good at working my butt off. I mean, we had just bought in a new house when the divorce happened, and
Ooh, bad timing.
Yeah, it was bad timing. Actually, it was great timing because it made me I had to sell, right? I had, my whole idea was keep the kids in the home, keep them safe. Very important from my upbringing. And I remember it was Thanksgiving. I was in the kitchen crying because my husband had left, and I was like, oh my God, feeling so sorry for myself. And this door knock, and there's the new girlfriend at the door, picking up my daughters, driving my car, taking them off for Thanksgiving. And I was like, F me, my life sucks right now. And after a bottle of wine and a lot of tears, I just realized, okay, you got to save yourself. So I ended up becoming my own hero and crushing it that year. And it's due to the, when you're in hard times, I think people ask me, how did you do it? And it's like, I don't even remember. It's just, I was just grinding, and I had to make it work. So I just did everything I could while my kids were with their dad. I was working while they were with me. As soon as they hit the sack, I was working, kind of a deal.
You were locked in, yeah.
Yeah.
Does your ex know about what you're doing now?
Oh yeah, and he's he's so mad.
You let him know?
I don't let him know, but he knows. It's like he was very money motivated. So to see what we've created, I mean, I've created everything from scratch. I think he's probably messed that one up. But it was the best thing he ever did because now I'm happily married, great husband, great life.
Everything happens for a reason, right?
Yeah.
And now you've done $51 million in 5 years in courses, right?
Yeah, we just hit 60 million in 6 years. Yeah, but everyone, that sounds really good, but it's like, it takes money to make a lot of money. I think people don't tell you that, and especially lately, I was operating about a 57% profit margin for quite a few years. The past year and a half is much tighter.
Right.
We're now launching some new programs, and that's part of the reason why I'm teaching coaches and consultants now, because real estate is it's a little tough right now, right?
Yeah.
Most agents haven't sold houses for a long time, so getting them to pay a $4,000 coaching program is harder than it was.
Yeah.
It's crazy because 2 years ago, our DPL was around $4,700, which means for every butt that I got in a seat. So I'll give you an example. If I had an event and there was 100 people there, each person was worth $4,700. Now it's down to $1,700. And it's just in the past 18 months, it's gone down a bit. And it's not the event, or it's just because of how real estate has gotten. I do believe that's going to change because, there's huge pent up demand for buying and that kind of thing. But
yeah, I think once interest rates are lower, right?
Yeah, interest rates are lower because that's going to happen because it's a new, it's an election year, so things are going to get good.
Yeah, and now you got AI.
Oh, I love AI. I'm a AI freak right now.
What are you using it on right now?
Oh my gosh, well, I've got 2 AI coaches. So, and then I just hired a company to come into my company and help me automate even more. Everyone thinks that AI is just ChatGPT, which is there's so much more than ChatGPT. We're making bots for everything. We've got an email bot that sounds like me. We've got a coaching bot for real estate. We've got a coaching bot for entrepreneurs. We've got all these bots that we are building that are all of our personal content that will answer things and do things for us. And we're using it for video creation. Your podcast, I'm sure you're using AI for your podcast. Yeah, video creation. I mean, just tons of, what used to take us just like 5 days to do with a video like this that we're doing a podcast where they'd piece it out. Now we're using, I think, video. What is it? Vid AI. I don't know.
I've seen that one.
But yeah, where it takes it and, puts the 1.5 hour podcast into 50 clips with your own, words and your own colors and fonts and like 10 minutes. It's insane.
Yeah, it's nuts. It could change your language too.
Yeah, it changes the language, all that. Asian, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to start playing around with that. Do some Spanish episodes.
So you absolutely should. So you know Mr. Beast, right?
Yeah.
Of course you do. You're young, 27. So part of the reason why he's doing so well, because his coach, I have one of the same coaches, Gerald Leaves is one of my coaches for YouTube. But he takes his content and puts it in all these different languages. And with all the AI content out there. It's not hard to do now. You should absolutely do that because you are crushing.
I'm crushing the English.
You can crush it all. Go after Asian market next.
Yeah, go after some Chinese. I'm half Chinese, so they might support me. I don't know if podcasts are big out there, but we'll see.
You'll make them. And you are like a tall Chinese dude, man, I got to say.
Yeah, when I went to China in 4th grade, I was already the tallest guy there.
Were you really?
Yeah.
I can imagine, yeah. Did you go for basketball or what'd you go for?
No, I just went for ping pong and see my mom's family. I used to play a lot of ping pong.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, it was nice.
We met, I took my husband to this Ferrari, this Ferrari event, and there was this guy that came from China. He was a basketball player. He was like, I think he was like 6'7". I mean, he was in our helicopter, huge. And I was like, man, you're the biggest Chinese guy I've ever seen.
Wow.
Yeah, he's taller than you.
Yeah, that's the tallest I've ever.
And he was wider too, yeah.
Yao Ming, but he's like 7'6", but they genetically made him. So.
I think it might have been him. Like, show me a picture. Yeah, because he was like, show me a picture. I'm not kidding.
Okay.
I've got pictures of him. I'll show you, but yeah.
It's probably him.
It was amazing. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, so that was planned. They took the 2 tallest people in China and had them.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was it? Yao Ming?
Yao Ming.
Yeah, I'm sure it was him.
Wow, I'm jealous. I was
I know,
like,
small world.
favorite player growing up, man. You've learned from some great people. I know you mentioned a couple. You also learned from Russell Brunson.
Yes, Russell. When I first got into, I believe that anytime you want to do something, you hire, you pay for speed to collapse time frames. There's also a book called Who Not How from Dan Solomon and Ben Hardy, and it's so true. Like I can say the biggest part of my success, I believe, is like learning from somebody who's done the thing, and also being in the room. Like I just invested $250,000 to be in a mastermind with like Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi.
I saw that one.
Yeah. It's called
Mark joined too. Mark
joined. Yeah, Mark joined. He joined. I was like the first or second one. We're competing as far as who got first. But I mean, I will tell you, like, learning from people who have done the thing and being around people that are like, I will love being the smallest person in the room. In this mastermind, I absolutely am. Like, I'm probably the poorest one that's going to be there.
And that's crazy because you're doing $10 million a year.
Yeah. I mean, again, that's gross. No.
Revenue. Yeah.
Yeah. Revenue. Yeah. So we're doing about 10 million. Like net probably. But no, there's people in there way bigger than me. Like, and I'm so excited to be.
And that's what you have to do to get to the next level.
I think you have to. I mean, and people are, so afraid to invest in themselves. And there's times like right now to write a check for $250,000 was a lot. Like it was like, oh man, we're not seeing as many profits, but I know that it is an investment, and just being in the room with people that are doing bigger things and seeing what they're doing and like just tweaking things. I mean, like I just got back from a mastermind, with the top 10, Mark was there with the top 10 affiliates from the Tony and Dean launch. And just like the first hour and a half of being in that mastermind, I learned a concept of how to just add a few things to my sales and persuasion techniques through my virtual events that I was like, oh my gosh, that alone, just that hour and a half was worth the whole 5 days of being there.
Wow.
And I'm not kidding. It's like, it really was.
That's awesome. And you got the access now for the rest of your life. You could just text these guys.
Yeah. But of course we don't abuse it. But yes, we were texting this morning. We're like,
yeah, that's why I joined masterminds, for access.
Yes,
you learn some stuff, but it's really like the access for me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my gosh, like what you've done in a year and who you've interviewed and had on is just amazing. And I was just like reading about you going, man, that's just insane. It's like, it's who you know, having the exposure to people, it's everything.
Yeah, and people always ask me how you grew so quick, but we were talking about this earlier. It's the stuff I did before the podcasting for 7 years that people don't know about.
Yeah. You don't talk about it much on this?
I do a little bit, but I try to have the guest talk 80% of the time.
Yeah.
That's like my rule, 80-20.
80-20.
Because some hosts talk too much, in my opinion.
Gotcha. Well, and I think some guests do.
Yeah. Oh, I've had those too.
like you go on there and you're like, oh my God. Like I feel like I've been talking too much, but.
There's been like 5 episodes where I've asked 1 or 2 questions the whole episode.
Really?
Because they just talk the whole time.
They talk the whole time.
Yeah, it's pretty insane.
Yeah. Like they're talking at you.
I don't know what they're talking about, dude.
Yeah.
It's
and
crazy.
You're just like, nah.
Yeah. I don't know. Some people don't have that social cue to stop talking.
Oh, social cues. We could have a whole episode about social cues. And you know that, like, being who you are, with some people, like, will sit there and try to talk to you, and there's like 50 people online, and you're like, like,
yeah.
Social cues.
For real. Yeah, I feel like I'm pretty aware. It's come in handy because time is money. You got to respect people's time.
Big time, yeah.
Are you still going to a lot of networking events, conferences?
Yeah, I go to them all the time. Like, I think it's important to learn and be ahead of the curve. Always getting coached. Like, I got like 4 coaches right now.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, the reason being is because, I know right now, just the way that the times are, I need more opportunities. I need more different ways of doing things. I need more exposure. new ideas to be able to just even do what we did 2 years ago. I know that sounds crazy, but it's the truth, right? So now, like, investing in my knowledge, my network, is more important than it even was, I would say, almost when I started. Not quite that, but more important than it was, let's say, 3 years ago.
Yeah, because ads were a lot cheaper 2-3 years ago.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Are you running ads?
Right now, yeah, it's expensive.
Oh,
Spend
God.
$20K on lead ads, and it used to be like $5K for that.
Oh, okay. So can I help you with that?
Yeah.
All right. So this is something that I've been doing, honestly, for over 12 years. And when Facebook ads first came out, I remember flying to go meet Nicholas Kuzmich to learn how to run Facebook ads. And what and I did it very differently that now people are teaching. Like, I'm in a mastermind called Founders Board, and they're like teaching this strategy that I've been teaching forever. I taught this at Funnel Hacking Live 3 years ago, and it's like the pre-funnel, it's the pre-branding strategy. So one thing that we talk to people about, which is so important because it's so easy to get attention, that it's never been harder, right? It's easy for you because you're Sean. So for you, it's easy now, right?
Right.
So what you'll do is you'll run brand awareness campaigns where you'll take video, and this is what I did with my real estate business. This is what I did before I became a real estate coach. This is what I'm doing now for my $1 Million Month model. And that is you create content that is directed to your ideal client, and then you pay for video view ads, engagement ads, like brand awareness ads, to where you're putting yourself in front of people, like your ideal client, and you're like just adding value, letting them get to know you, not asking for anything, right? Video, value video, retarget. Then you're like, hey, would you like to click here? They don't have to. They can click, so they're doing one more action. And then after that, then you drive the traffic to a call to action, like for them to give you their information. Where most people start there. They're like, join my thing, give me your information. Like, I'm so great, download this, buy this. You don't want to start there, and that's why it's so expensive. So if you end there, even though it might seem like initially it's more, it's actually way less, because you know who the people are, you know what they want because you're retargeting them. And so you're then giving the right information to the right people.
Right.
They trust you, and now you download. It'll save you a lot of money.
That makes sense. I should try that on my top 10 Instagram videos.
Oh, yeah.
Because they already have tens of millions of views. So.
Yes, for sure. Anything that's doing that, then retarget it. And then also do engagement campaigns. Because the more, the way that the socials work, especially Facebook, is the more engagement that you have, then it will keep pushing you up, and then do also organic. So absolutely, you should
I love
do
that.
Yeah.
And are you funneling them to the DMs or to a website?
So we do both. So so we start with the DMs. Like, we'll be like, DM me for this resource, right? Like, hey, I just went to Sean. Let me tell you the top 10 things I learned from Sean. Picture of you, picture of me. And then they'll DM me. So that way they're starting the conversation. Then we'll continue to nurture them through actually live people, which we're switching to AI bots. And then you'll put them into your funnels. So we do both. So we do DM, then we also send traffic directly to funnels. And then we convert them into, whatever our offer is, which is usually a virtual event.
Got it. What were the best things you outsourced for the business?
Everything. No, just kidding. Well, you start with, you start small. So that's a very broad question. So when I first started, I would just have one person that was good at the things I wasn't. Yeah. Right. And then I would just slowly kind of add, I used to run my own Facebook ads, and I taught someone, and then I brought them in so I could alleviate my time. I think the best thing I've done, though, as an entrepreneur with the business that I have, is hire virtual assistants. Yeah, and not that people might think, oh my God, you have virtual assistants. I wouldn't be able to be in business because we offer so much value and we help people so much that if I didn't have the virtual assistants, that I could pay a little bit less to still give, they're great, if you find the right ones. Yeah.
Dan Martella says assistant's the best hire you can make.
Yeah. Oh, I would agree. Yeah,
I agree. I mean, it saves me so much time and stress.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look you just walked into here today, sat down, and that was it. Yeah. I'm sure you prepared. But
and he has 8 guests coming in today, but he's going to handle everything. I just sit here and do my job.
And do your thing, yeah.
And AI made the questions. Yeah. And I did my own research, too.
So you did, so tell me that. So you basically put in my name, and you asked it to ask me the question.
Yeah, so we'll go through your most viewed podcast videos on YouTube. It'll summarize the video for me in key points, and then from there, I'll pull questions.
Awesome.
Yeah, saves me time.
Yeah. So are you inserting the actual the YouTube link or the podcast link into ChatGPT?
It's a Chrome extension. So it'll pop up on the video and then it'll summarize it. Because some podcasts are 2 hours. So if I have 15 guests a week, it's hard for me to watch every single podcast in full.
Yeah.
So I'll summarize it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I just got to tell you, you're to see what you have done. I mean, when I see people like you, I'm very in awe. I think some people will be like, oh my gosh, that's impossible. How did you do that, right? But when I see someone that's been successful, because I know how hard it is to do what you've done, and I realize all the work you've done before. I mean, obviously that is a huge thing to do with it, but to do what you've done so quickly, I mean, is very admirable because it's not easy, right?
No.
I mean, it's not easy at all. So to see what you've done, I love looking at people like you, especially with your age. Like it just should give people so much hope and be like, man, if Sean can do it, I can do it, you know?
Yeah, and I saw a post yesterday, like people really hate the algorithm right now, and I see a lot of people complaining about it, but you got to do things differently, you know what I mean? Like there's a reason you're not getting engagement.
Yes. So what do you think you do differently?
I think my clips and my guests and my questions are just so different. Like when you see one of my clips, it's probably something you've never seen before. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm going to start studying you now. Like I'm a stalker studier.
Yeah. It's a fine balance though, because certain content is shadow banned and stuff. So it's the game we play.
Yeah, you got to be careful.
A lot of it's the guests though, for sure.
Yeah, well, you've had some really good guests. Yeah, for sure.
Good guests, interesting guests.
Which is crazy so soon. I mean, man, I was looking at your lineup going, that's awesome.
Yeah, but also take action. I emailed Grant Cardone cold email. I didn't know anyone that knew him. And he responded in 2 minutes.
Wow. And was it really him?
It was him, yeah. It was. I don't know if he wants his email out there, but
yeah,
you can find anyone's email easily these days. There's websites
that you can find direct, huh?
Yeah. I use Apollo.io. Have you heard of that one?
No, Apollo.io.
Yeah. I've made over 10 million off that site.
Apollo.io, from getting certain people's email addresses and emailing them.
Yeah.
So what's your email say?
It says, I've had these guests on. I film in Vegas. Next time you're here, I'd love to have you. We're ranked this rank on Apple Podcasts. We get this many views a month.
Ooh,
I keep it simple.
Yeah.
If you bombard them with like paragraphs, they're not going to read it.
Yeah, exactly. Easy, fast.
Yeah. I think about how I'd want to receive an email. When I get those long ones, I'm like, this is
delete.
Copy paste.
Yeah. Do you ever do like video text messages or video emails where you're like with a sign like, hey, Grant?
I get those on Instagram. What do you think about those?
Oh, I think they work. Like,
you think they work?
You know Billie Jean, right?
Billie Jean, yes.
Okay, so I did it to Billie Jean, and he's like, girl, he called me. He's like, I get thousands of emails and texts every day, and you're the first one, because I was like, Billie Jean, it's Krista, and I love your thing. And I said something personal. That's how we get on most of our podcasts, or we get guests. Yeah,
interesting.
Is by doing that.
Okay, yeah, because
it does work.
It is personal.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like, first of all, people are afraid of clicking a lot of times. Like, I'll never click a link on social.
Same.
Because I'm afraid I'm going to get,
hacked.
Which I have.
Yeah.
Like, I tell my team, don't click on anything.
And email too.
Yeah, everything, right? But if it's like their name and a picture of them and you're like, Sean, it's like, hey. And then it's like, hey, Sean, it's Krista. Then they're more likely to do it.
That's awesome. Yeah. Billy's killing it, man. I get his ads every day.
He does great, yeah. He's massively high with Go High Level, and he's doing really good with that. He's using their software, white labeling it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, creating funnels and all that.
Are you using GHL for your leads?
Yep. I have my own software from Go High Level, and we do funnels and landing pages and all of it.
So the landing pages, so you don't use ClickFunnels?
I love ClickFunnels, but I don't now because, ClickFunnels, you're not able to, you're not able to like make your own. And so you got to a point where, it was I was teaching people how to use funnels and landing pages and all the workflows and all these different sequences and things, and they had to pay for all this stuff. So I just decided to put all of it into one software, which I called the Mashore method, and we give them all their funnels. They're like, we've done over $50 million in funnels.
Wow.
Yeah, we've got
crazy.
Yeah. Russell told me that I was the #1 real estate funnel person in the world.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's cool. There's a lot of real estate funnels too.
Yeah, I have him on video saying that.
That's cool. Yeah, I get real estate ads all the time. I'm not even in real estate, but I get those ads daily. Yeah, it's one of those businesses where...
You're young. You should start investing in real estate.
You think so?
Oh my gosh, you're not?
I'm renting.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well, this is where you differ with Grant then.
No, you should not rent. No, you should not rent. I mean, now I do think the market is going to have a correction. Although it's like maybe yes, maybe no, right? In 2008, the market crashed because they were giving like stated income loans. They were selling D paper for A paper. They were giving all this credit back. I mean, every region in the world, we crashed, right? Now, the difference between now and then is that we have so much people bent up buyer and seller demand, and the amount of homes that they've been building for like years and years is way under the population growth. So we're always going to have less homes than people. So because of that, we probably won't have a crash. I think in the commercial department, we might more than normal. But I mean, who even cares? Like even all the people that bought before, first of all, right now, you don't have the tax write-off. I mean, your money's going nowhere. It's like, I think you should.
There's a lot of benefits. For me, I'm going to do it eventually, but it's too slow for me.
It's too slow. So what are you investing in?
My business has always been the best
Bitcoin?
investment, and
Bitcoin.
Crypto. So between those two, real estate's like what, 10% a year on average? I mean, that's
not if that right
that's
now.
not even gonna keep me up. I mean,
Yeah.
But eventually I will once I'm older and want to be more safe. Right now I'm in risk mode.
Yeah, you're in risk mode.
I've made and lost tons of money.
Yeah.
But when you're in your 20s, you got it.
So are you buying Bitcoin?
I have Bitcoin, I have Ethereum. Yeah. I got in pretty early.
Oh gosh, good for you.
What about you?
No, Mark's telling me to buy it. So
right now?
Yeah, he's telling me
60K right now. I mean,
that's good. It was 74 like a week ago. I mean, when I first wanted to buy it, so I was told 5 years ago it was 16,000 or 13,000. I'm like, damn it. You know,
so you would have been up
I'm
like,
older than you though. So.
Yeah, you would have been up 4x.
Mark's saying it's going to go to like way more. So like I'm actually buying a commercial building right now, which I do not want to buy.
Yeah.
I'm doing it to help my husband out. But I would rather take that money and just put it all into Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And just leave it there and let it go.
I think it'll 2x. Yeah.
Yeah.
But for you, I feel like you don't need to take crazy risks right now.
Yeah, I know. I'm kind of risky too.
You are?
Yeah,
Still?
yeah. Like, I still am, yeah.
I feel like as I
Believe
get
it.
older, the risk is less and less. I used to be straight degenerate risk.
Yeah, degenerate meaning?
Meaning like I would invest in whatever you told me about.
Anything,
and
yeah.
I would lose most of it.
You'd lose, yeah, you got to be careful. There's a lot of, I mean, I think you need to be careful with everything nowadays because so many people, especially even when you pay for coaches or experts, like everyone's an expert and most of them are lying about what they're doing. It's like insane. You have to be very careful who you trust.
Very careful. On the way here, my friend Troy Casey, he's about to expose a big mentor he paid $50K for. He got no value.
Ooh.
Yeah. I'll tell you off
Tell
air
me
who
who
it
it is
is.
offline. Yeah. Before you ever pay any coaches, I have a long list. I have who I've paid like over we're at 1 point almost 5 million in the past 6 years.
Wow. And have all of them been worth it in your opinion?
Oh, no. And I mean, no, absolutely not. But some have absolutely been. I mean, and even sometimes it's not so much with the coaches, but the people around, you know?
Right. The access.
The access, yeah, that you get. And just like learning from other people and being around, like exposing your brain to things you normally wouldn't think about. I mean, especially like your age, if I had done what I'm doing, you know, what I started doing at 48, at 27, I mean, I can only imagine. I mean, it's really cool what you're doing.
I love it. Thanks so much. Means a lot. Is your mind always racing? You seem high energy.
I am, yeah. I have a lot of energy, yeah. Well, I don't usually drink coffee, but I'm fasting now, doing intermittent fasting. So I've never drank coffee until the past like month. So I'm a little bit more hyper than normal, but I'm pretty hyper.
I love it.
Just in general.
Are you able to shut it off at night?
Yeah, I am. I mean, it's been harder lately as I'm getting older, and it depends on what I have going on. Like I'm writing 2 books right now, so that typically will keep me up. Like I'll be like, oh, I got to edit, you know, or whatever else. It just depends on what I have going on. But sleep is really important, so I'm really trying to make sleep more of a priority.
Yeah, I used to struggle with that for years.
Yeah,
because
really?
I would always want to work in bed.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, so some of your best thoughts come when you're sleeping. So you know Einstein, he used to like put a spoon in his hand and he would go to sleep because there's this part of your brain in between like when you're sleeping and when you're like kind of like this unconscious level when you get your best ideas.
Really?
And so what he would do is he'd put a spoon in his hand and like when the spoon would drop, it'd wake him up because he didn't want to go into that when he was trying to have these ideas come to him. Like if you'll ever notice, now that I'm telling you this, maybe you'll notice, but like when you're kind of in that sleep but not sleep phase, that you have the best ideas or dreams that come, or like when you're in the shower, have you ever noticed that?
Yeah.
It's because the way that your brain works and how like, it's a trip, man. Like I got up the other night and I'm all writing stuff down and then I forgot half what I was remembering and I'm like, damn it.
Wow, that's interesting. I keep a dream journal.
That's
But I know
good.
what you're talking about though. It's when you have that jolt. It's like,
Yes.
oh, I was about to fall asleep.
Yes, yeah, that's when you start to really like, especially when you've been sleeping, you're about to wake up, or right before, right? It's when all the good ideas come.
I love that. Krista, where can people find out more about you and your coaching and everything?
Thank you. If you go to theprovenmodel.com/Sean and your name, and they'll be able to find out more about us.
Perfect. We'll link below. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. It's awesome.
Of course. Thanks for watching, guys. See you tomorrow.